Hi folks, welcome back to the Addicted Bookworm, where my addictions all over the internet. On this channel, I do library book hauls, book reviews, both digital and physical, audiobooks, and so much more. Alright, I'm redoing this video because I forgot to add some things to it. That is my complaint about modern fantasy and all that. So, I'm currently working on the first book in a 7-book series about this girl called Merlin and her battling her sadistic father, who is the archmage of this kingdom. Now, the reason that I'm doing this kind of book is that it is something I've never done. I've never done this kind of book before, where you have a clash between the daughter and the father. And it all starts with a very conniving woman called Alice, who is the daughter of the chieftain. She is very well versed in what men will do to women because her mother taught her and told her about it. But she's also very conniving, very vindictive, very, very gray character. She's not a hero, and she's definitely not a villain. But she is determined to get back at this kingdom for what happened to her people. Now, for people that want to know, in my world there is slavery, but it is based on the fact that you lost a war, not based on the fact that you're black or brown or anything like that. This goes along with Greek and Greco-Roman slavery practices. So, we have the villain of the entire book series, which is the Archmage. And he is a 5,000-year-old sorcerer who has had to kill and to poison and to all that stuff to get up to the top, which is typically how these people do it. It also doesn't hurt that he happens to be far more powerful than everybody else. And to ensure that he doesn't have to worry about some little scruffy muffin boy coming in and taking his position, he... Hold on. Hold on a second. Don't want to... Okay. I don't want to burn my thing out. Alright, so anyways, so to ensure that a scruffy muffin little boy doesn't come in and take everything that he has killed and slaughtered for, he has these amulets that he wears around. The first one goes around his neck, the second one goes around the woman. And this is to ensure that she cannot get pregnant and that she does not bear his successor or heir or whatever you want to call it. Well, he hasn't yet encountered Alice, and Alice has the ability to temporarily nullify things like amulets, charms, things like that. And sure enough, she gets pregnant, and this is how Merlin is born. Merlin is destined to clash with her father, and during the entire 7-book series, we're going to see this very, very up close and personal. So that's the premise of it. That is the premise of it. I'm going to have to actually write it out, but that is the general premise of the book. And who's in the middle of these two warring people? Well, the king and everybody in the kingdom. So, with that summary out of the way, if you guys are interested in that kind of epic battle between these two people, let me know. And when the book comes out, I will send you a copy of the book. So just let me, I don't even know how you do messaging anymore on YouTube. I used to know, but I don't. I don't know. Um, but what I will actually do on that particular announcement video is I will actually set all of the comments to approval. If you want to get a copy of the book and you don't want people to know where you live, I will just look at it, write it down, and I will ship you the book. You don't got to pay for it. And then just let me know what you personally thought about it. And if you liked it, wonderful. If you didn't like it, well, you still get a free book and everything. I will not be upset if you don't like it. I won't, because that's your right to not like something. That's your right to not like it. But I'll be working on this book for probably about 12 weeks, but I might go ahead and work on it a lot longer. Let me take that back. I will be working on the book a lot longer, especially if we're talking about different aspects of the book. So anyways, so let's get to what I don't like about what I don't like about modern fantasy and its connection to what I'm writing. So one of the biggest things that I do not like about modern fantasy is the chosen one trope. And they go and they build the entire story all around the chosen one. This is one that everything is handed to him. He doesn't really have to work for it. Any of that type of stuff. Even though Merlin would be considered the chosen one because she is destined to, for the next 7 books, to constantly clash with her father, that particular is not surrounded by it. Or the battle between the daughter and the father is central to the book series, but she has to work. She has to work. She has to do this. She has to do that. It's all part of making her a strong character. Now, like in Harry Potter, she has friends that will be by her side. And I love that idea of having a band of merry men. Though I will tell you, there is a group of young men that will probably make you laugh. Hopefully I can do humor well enough. Hopefully I can do humor. I'm just, in my mind's eye, they're funny. But we'll see if I can translate that to page. So another thing that I don't really like about modern day fantasy, especially written by women, and I'm a woman, I can say this. I have not yet found a sword and sorcery book written by a woman. If you guys could down below tell me any titles of sword and sorcery that's actually written by a woman that doesn't have how quickly can I get into his pants, let me know. I would be entirely appreciative. I will check it out from the library and I will read it. But other than that, I have not yet found a sword and sorcery book that is written by a woman that actually feels like a sword and sorcery book. It's generally the dudes that write it, and this is a sword and sorcery book. It has swords, it has magic, it has dragons, it has unicorns, it has elves, gnomes, all the stuff people like. All the stuff that people like. It's got assassins, things like that. That is going to be on it. So, another thing that I did while I'm writing this book is to bring out my Bible. And this is all of the notes that I write concerning the first book in the series. There's going to be a total of 7 of these things. And in the next one, I'm just going to transfer everything that I wrote into the new one, and we'll add more details as I move along. Now, if they're not going to be in the book, then they won't be put in the new Bible. So, I don't know if Rebecca Yarnos even uses a Bible, but I use it because it's much more effective. It helps me to organize my thoughts and to really figure out where am I going to take this character. I was originally going to have the Archmage die in book 1 at the very beginning of it. Like, they find out that he fathered this child and now, I said, no, wait, no. 3 o'clock in the morning, I said, that is lame. That's lame. Nobody's going to buy a book where the bad guy dies at the beginning of the freaking book. Unless he comes back as a zombie, then that would be pretty cool. But then they'd be more like horror than fantasy. It's like, no. He's going to be the protagonist of the entire series. So, I decided on that. So, getting back to it, Chosen One trope, do not like it. Do not like it at all. I want my characters, I want my main protagonist to actually work for what he or she is doing. I also am tired of, like, romance being the center part of it, or like, they go and they do stuff. They go and they write, like I said, once again, same thing with the Chosen One trope. They go and they do enemies to lover and they build the entire book around it instead of letting it happen organically. But my biggest complaint in modern fantasy, this is a new one, generic covers. So as I said, there's a website where you can get some stunning covers. This is why when my book is going to be coming out, I'm getting 50 authors' copies. And every time I get paid, I'm going to buy 50 more. My goal, because I'm going to be actually taking the book to PopCon in 2028, because I'm going to publish the book in 2027, but I'm going to have it, like, if I release it in the spring, I most likely can still get a booth at PopCon that same year. So, hope and pray. So, my big complaint is that I'm going to get all these copies of my book, and somehow it's going to blow up on TikTok or whatever, and it's going to be bought by a self-publisher. They're going to, like, hey, we're going to self-publish your book. And then what happens is they give me a god-awful cover and telling me that, okay, you got to take down your self-published one. And then people can't buy it. They have to wait for the new cover to come out, or the book to come out. And I'm really, really concerned about that. As an author, I have every right to be concerned about that. So this is why I'm going to snap up as many copies as I can before that happens. Because if the book turns out to be as good as I'm hoping it will be, that's probably what's going to end up happening. Which also runs into my kind of not a problem with modern day fantasy, but kind of a problem I've got with traditional publishing, that they will sell the rights to my book to some, like, movie company or something, and they're going to race swap all of my characters to make them more diverse and all that stuff. And then I'm literally going to have to sue, and it won't be a pretty thing. But yeah. So, what's going on in modern publishing as far as, like, book covers are concerned, and about tropes, and about, you have to have tropes in your book. If you don't have tropes in your book, nobody's going to buy them. And it kind of tells me that when you are listening to this excuse as to why you got to put tropes in your book, it kind of tells me that publishing houses do not care about the plot of the book. They care about how beautifully tropeable it can possibly be. And it kind of makes me sad. It does. It absolutely does. Anyways, so as I said, that book is coming out in 2027. Because, as I said, I'm going to spend plenty of time with the book. I am going to get my book cover, art, all that type of stuff. And once I do that, then I'll give you guys a release date. Anyways, I am going to end it here, and I will see you next time. Bye.